what is going on in Darfur and how that is connected to what we are doing today. Please welcome Simon Child. He's what, 15, 16?
Thank you, Apak. And I'd like to thank all of you for being here today, because this is truly an amazing rally. We were able to go out and relay around in a very symbolic protest, and it's a demonstration that truly shows that positive change can be made. And I'd like to thank all of you here today for being here, because by being here you are showing that if there is someone suffering across the globe, you still care. I'm with, representing CSF Darfur. I have a local Save Darfur club in my high school, and we started a petition asking the Canadian House of Commons to take more action to stop the genocide in Darfur, and we have a petition over there. Please, I invite you all to sign it. So far, we have collected over 1,400 signatures, and hopefully after today, we can collect more. Today, I want to make something clear that we are not here, and we have not been here to be anti-Chinese or anti-Olympic. But on the contrary, we are here to be pro-Chinese, pro-Olympic, and most importantly, pro-human in this very symbolic protest. The slogan of the Beijing Olympics is "One World, One Dream." And for the people of Myanmar, the people of Zimbabwe, the people of North Korea, Darfur, Tibet, Falun Gong followers, "One World, One Dream" sounds more like "One World, One Nightmare." So please, I implore all of you to write a letter to the Prime Minister, write a letter to the Canadian National Olympic Committee, write a letter to the International Olympic Committee, because together, pressure does work. I'd like to remind you all that with pressures from letters, how South Africa during apartheid was banned from the Olympics. Now, on China and South Africa, the comparison about activism then, what has changed? I think that because of, personally, the economic interest with China has made a lot of nations hesitant to protest the Olympics because of human rights. And it's time for Canada to take a stand of integrity and say that this behavior coming from China is unacceptable. We have to ask ourselves as Canadians, what is the price of human life? Is it worth the economic interest with China? Or is it worth the gold in the medal hanging around the neck of a Canadian athlete? The answer is clear. And Canada, we are known as the peacekeepers of the world. Lately, I think that that's been lacking in Sudan, in China, in Tibet. And with pressure from your letters, I think that Canada can come back to having that reputation of being global peacekeepers. As a blessed and privileged nation, we have a social responsibility to help those who don't have a voice and to help those in need. If there are Zimbabweans being killed for criticizing their government, that matters to Canada. If there are Tibetans being exiled and oppressed, that matters to Canada. If there are bombs being dropped on innocent Darfuri children, that matters to Canada. The torch is the humanitarian response to the Beijing Olympic torch. Some say that stuff like this is just too much, that the Olympics and politics should stay segregated. But by staying silent and by participating in the Olympics, you're endorsing the behavior of the Chinese government. And as Canadians, as global citizens with a conscience, we have a responsibility with our fellow men, and we have to make an example out of this behavior, that it cannot be tolerated and consequence must come with it. Endorsing the Beijing Olympics is saying that this type of behavior is acceptable and that no consequence will come if it is committed, and that if you violate human rights, that it's okay and that the global community won't do anything about it. So to quote the great Dr. Martin Luther King, "An injustice anywhere is a threat to injustice everywhere." So please write a letter. Personally, I'm impressed how well this rally went, and this is amazing how globally people can come together from different countries, in Latin America, in Asia, in Europe, and now in Canada and in Vancouver, to all protest the Olympics and say, well, not protest the Chinese behavior on human rights, and say that this is wrong and that human rights must be respected and that human rights are more valuable than any economic interest, any gold medal, and any sporting event. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Simon. Well stated. We are waiting for our next performer, but we